Gary, you've attached so many A-list talent names to all of your projects. For anyone looking to cast similar names, what are some of the things they need to know before they reach out to an agent or manager?
Well, the key, of course, is what's on the page, right? If actors generally, especially stars and their handlers, look at a role first and the story second. So the role has to be really well developed. I spend countless months, if not years, revising and working editorially with the writer to get the script just so. And I think when you feel that you've got something that's really just brilliant and that this is a role of a lifetime, now you're ready to go. And the question at that point is, how do you create a cause célèbre, and how do you get to those actors or their handlers to market it effectively to them? And I usually try and round up support on the fringes, right? You always want people echoing your point of view, who are closer to that person. One of the things that you want to do is first of all, you want to really research these actors and see who's available and who's not. What you don't want, you want to avoid, to the greatest extent possible, submitting it to someone where you're going to get a no because they're unavailable. But the agency's now looked at it, now they already know it's been rejected technically by one actor. So you want to kind of, preset the table knowing that someone's available, knowing that you can afford them. So you have to have sort of a framework. And then I try and engage people that are on their team, starting with assistants. I always do that. I always get a champion inside, whether it's the casting director's office, the agent's office, the manager's office, the publicist's office, the attorney's office, anybody's office. And I find out who's the friendly, warm one. And I get them talking amongst themselves. And I tell them what good is going on over here. And I create this sort of echo, and I do that in a few directions. But bottom line, the thing's going to speak for itself. The script is either going to light people up and they're going to go, oh my God, what a great story. What a perfect role for my client. Unless you know the actor personally, you are going to deal with all their handlers, right? Their representatives. And so you really have to be pretty straight ahead. I am very selective. I send them a script, once a year is frequent for me. So they know I'm very selective. When I send something, they read it carefully, and then we have a talk. When they reject it, if I think they're making a mistake, I will fight. I will go back to the agent, I'll go back to whoever's the friendliest in the group and say, I think we need to have a further conversation. In one case, the company passed, and I just simply said, I refuse to accept your pass. I pass on your pass. And I set up a face-to-face. That was my condition. Based on our rapport, I'm coming in for a face-to-face. Is that okay? And they said, of course. And in the room, I was able to convince them. And they actually turned around their point of view. And I got a green light for a $42 million film. So there's a level of persistence that's appropriate, but it's based on the nature of the conversation. If they see something that's intriguing, but they're just not up to it's a big risk for them to say yes, to put their star in it, or for the company to finance it, or whoever you're going after. So you have to know when to push and when to move on to the next candidate.
A common thing you'll hear when you call one of these agencies, sorry, so-and-so does not accept unsolicited manuscripts. How do you just send it anyway?
No, it's actually it's a real breach of etiquette to send any screenplay or intellectual property that's not welcomed. People generally will return it unopened, or they'll open it and then realize what it is and be upset. It's not a great way to set the table. And that's for legal reasons, right? So I never would submit something unless they said, please send it. But if they say no, it's either because they don't know you, and they'll say, have a representative send it. In which case, you can have anybody act as your rep. It could be an attorney. If you don't have an agent from CA, it's not the end of the world. You can have a lot of people, a young manager, find a manager, a lone wolf, let them do it. That's the buffer. Or they may say, sign a release, releasing us from liability, because we don't know you and we don't want to be sued. Sign the release. Your job is to get your material read. You want people to know your work, to know you as a creator. That's more important. So Don't worry about, are they going to steal it? Very little gets stolen. Sign the release and send it.